What does it take to actually turn all of these clicks and connections that we're making on social media into clients and customers? That's what me and my girl Carly are going to be talking about live today. Super excited to be here with all of you. This is my biz bestie Carly from the other side of the world. Y'all will hear her accent in 1 second. It's amazing. We build businesses together. We're biz besties and excited to be on here, share something that we're collabing on later this week. So stay tuned for
Yeah.
that. But if you're here and you're joining us live, say what's up. If you're catching us later on the replay, go ahead and drop the word replay in the comments. Carly, what is up? Super excited to be on and collabing with you, getting me out of my comfort zone and going live.
And you know how much I love to go live. How's everyone doing? Thank you so much for having me.
Making sure I'm public.
I am just, I shared it. So FYI, if you see us looking down at our phones, we're like just sharing it everywhere because this conversation needs to be had. Okay.
Facts.
If you guys are tuning in here through Carrie, you're going to know she's an absolute badass at automations, at elevating how you get your leads, like bringing them in to then be able to convert them in a way that does not cost you 24/7. You know what I mean? Like you're escaping that hustle and grind. That's exactly why you work with Carrie. And then if you're with me, you know that I believe that automation definitely has a place. But I also believe and know to be true from 20 years of building businesses that the most underrated growth strategy is the connection piece. So that's what we want to bring you today is a conversation about how you can turn those clicks into clients using automation, but also not forgetting the most underrated growth strategy there is on this planet.
Connections, for sure. So on that note, I'm totally curious for those of you watching or catching this on the replay, what are your thoughts on automation? Like, how do you guys feel about automation? Because I'll give what I think, like a little bit of my feedback, and I'll let Carly weigh in too. But I think it's a fantastic way to get your time back. I think if used correctly, it has a ton of potential for growing and scaling your business because we're in this age where we have people's attention. So it's fleeting, right? It's fleeting. And when you have somebody's attention, whether it's talking about a product, a service, whatever it is, they want that info now. And if you can't give it to them through some sort of,
automation.
I think that you're potentially losing out.
Yeah, and have a look at how now, especially if you are an online entrepreneur, you are potentially going to be acquiring customers, acquiring leads around the world. So, like, let's give us an example right now. It is 5:37 a.m. in the morning here on the Sunshine Coast in Australia, whereas it's, 3:37. Yeah, exactly, for Carrie. So why would you want to miss out on building an outstanding freaking business just because you've lost the lead, just because I wasn't awake when you're awake or you're not awake when I'm awake? So I feel like personally there is so much room for growth when it comes to having those right automations in process, like the systems, the strategy behind it. 100%.
The strategy piece. Yes. So let's talk about that. Like when you talk about strategy, and Carly's like helped me, y'all, so much with growing my own business and having strategy. Like I love systems and I love helping people figure things out. But I have to throw it out there. Carly's like my go-to when I'm like, Carly, this is what my goal is. Can you help me break it down into some sort of strategy that's going to get me there? So talk to us about that. Talk to us about your strategy brain.
Let me rewind the clock just a little bit for this because, I've been building traditional businesses, bricks and mortar businesses for 20 years. And we operate in a business that is flooded. Like one of our businesses is automotive. Okay. We fix cars. It doesn't matter what city, country in the world that you live in, there are a gazillion mechanics. So, how you do anything matters. and to participate, to compete in an industry that is flooded like all of us, because it doesn't matter if you're in health, if you're in beauty, if you're in massage, if you're in real estate, you have got competition. So what I learned early in the days was it wasn't about constantly reinventing ourselves. It was about finding a strategy that worked for us and then just doing it on repeat. Yep. And when we're doing it on repeat, there are times
Drop the
where
word
you're going to do
repeat in the
more.
comments, you guys.
Yeah,
Repeat.
exactly. Like you're just going to do it more. When you find that rhythm for your business and for you that fits in with you, your life and your business, then you're going to go and do it more. Okay. Because a lot of it, like the biggest trap that is found is that people find a strategy. They'll find a strategy online. They'll find a strategy through a coach. They give it a go once and they don't give it enough of a chance to win for you. So when it comes to strategy, there's a few things that you need to keep in mind. And it's funny because Carrie mentioned that we got something free going on at the end of the week. But I want you to think about it. If you don't have a goal or a vision for where you're going with your business and your life, how can you then decide the strategy that is going to get you there? Okay, so, and that's something that I work with my clients. It's like, what do you really want? And not just on a business, on a professional front, but on a personal front. Now, I remember
Drop the word,
Carrie.
like, you guys, if that, like, say that again, because,
Yep.
like, as you were saying those words, and you guys, I'm going to be transparent. I am guilty of exactly what she said, because there's many times where I'm like, Carly, I'm doing this. And she was like, well, what's your goal? And I'm like,
Oh, that's exactly right. So it's like, what is your goal on a personal level, on a professional level? And then we can create a strategy that is around it. Because if you do not know what you want to achieve out of this thing we call life, you are going to end up building a business that you did not want. And I want to give you an example of this. About, 15 years ago, I decided to build a bookkeeping business alongside our mechanic business. I was like, I can just do this for a bit of pocket money. Well, that pocket money business ended up being 70 clients, 3 staff, and so much anxiety that after 10 years, I shut it down. Like it was generating multi 6 figures. I was making so much freaking money. But guess what? I didn't care because that business, I did not build it in a way that was aligned with what I want for our whole life. And that is where the strategy comes into it. It is pointless saying, I just want to make this much money. Great. Why do you want to make that much money? Do you want to make that much money because you want to work 24/7? You don't want to have a life? Or are you trying to make that much money because you want to have 4 holidays a year? You want to support your kids like I do in one of the most expensive sports in the world? Is it because you want to give back? Like, what is the deeper reason as to why you are building this business?
or else, like, I mean, my mind goes to, if you don't have that reason, unfortunately, that's why a lot of businesses, I think, fail, because you don't really have that, like, underlying, why am I doing this, you know?
Yes, exactly right. So, when we have a goal, but then we don't have a strategy, you're screwed. You're screwed. You'll end up building a business that you don't want. You know what I mean? And that's probably the biggest point of it. So we all need the goal. And when Carrie and I said we're going to be working on something at the end of this week, that's exactly what we want to help you with. We want to help you be able to not only set the goal and cast the vision for what you want, but then really chat about, like, what are the automations that you're going to need to help you achieve that? And also, how do we connect at a heart-centered human level so that the conversion piece happens? Because without
Because where my brain goes as Carly's saying this,
yeah,
I work with a lot of people that are systematizing and wanting automations, and
yes,
they frequently get frustrated because they're not working for them at the level at which they would like. But
yes,
this is where the strategy that Carly is talking about comes in, because I see a lot of people that have many different tools, systems, automations, whatever, but
yes.
they're like kind of in that scattered, what's the word I'm trying to say? Like they're just trying to, like,
They're just
try this
trying,
for 5 days, try this for
yes,
5 days, try this for 5 days, and then, like,
yes,
why isn't it working? And it's like,
yes.
Because you don't really have a strategy, you know?
No, exactly right. Exactly right. And I suppose I just got done with seeing so many amazing business owners and entrepreneurs struggling. And I know you, Carrie, feel the same way. Like you saw them struggling and you witnessed them struggling. I'm just bringing it up so we can see the chat, but you witnessed them struggling at a point of they were spending like 24/7 behind their computer. How many of you are guilty of this? Drop guilty, where you're just grinding away and maybe you're getting results, maybe you're not getting results, but either way, it's not enough to like reward you for the work. And then you've switched into this as like, okay, how can I give people time back? Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And
100%.
for me, it's like, okay, let's talk about your goals. Let's talk about your strategy, and let's make sure that in this noisy as like world with so many different, like, how many of you also scroll online and you're like, oh, Johnny says to do this, Carrie says to do this, Carly says to do this, and then you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know what to do.
Been there.
Yeah, exactly.
Been
so
there.
let's break that down. Let's break that down.
All right, here's my next question for you.
Okay.
What do you think is missing from the way people are trying to like grow their businesses right now? I mean, we kind of touched on a few things, but when it really comes down to the meat and the potatoes, what's like that the thing? What's the thing?
Do you know, okay, here's the thing. We want to escape the 24/7 hustle. But by escaping the 24/7 hustle, we sometimes try to avoid the grind work, okay, which is the building the relationships and connecting with people. Now, hear me when I say this, guys. I don't want you hustling 24/7, and I don't want you talking to everybody. How many of you have heard, just talk to everybody about your products? Everybody needs them. You know, like if they're a woman, they need makeup. If you've got weight loss, well, everyone needs weight loss because nobody's happy with their weight. Well, you know what? Like, that's bullshit. Not everybody actually wants your products. Not everybody needs it because some people are just happy doing what they're doing, even if they are unhappy. So I think that the biggest piece that people are missing is by trying to escape the 24/7 hustle, they're also trying to avoid building the connections that they need to build, having the conversations they need to have, which are the piece, or is the piece rather, that leads you to the conversion. Let me throw this back at you for a second, Carrie. I remember when you were ready to take your business to the next level, like nearly 18 months ago. And you started one specific move, okay, that really had an amazing conversion piece, which was your discovery calls. And I remember like you and I had conversations and you're like, shouldn't I? I don't know. And the one thing I said was, but how would you feel if you ended this month at the, like hitting the income goal that you've got? Like, why don't you share with them like that piece of connecting and how
It's
impactful
invaluable.
it was for your business?
Yeah, it's invaluable. And it's funny. I don't know how to describe it, you guys. My brain is like ADHD in the moment and ADHD in the past, I think, because Carly remembers things and she brings them back up. And I'm like, she's right. That is what I did. But it's
Yeah.
true. When I got rocking and rolling with Automate and Elevate, I committed to doing these discovery calls. I was exhausted and I was drained, but they were the biggest accelerant for me having success. Why? Because I got on these calls. I was listening to people's pain points. They were telling me exactly what they wanted. They were handing me their frustrations on a silver platter.
Yes.
I was taking all of that and flipping it into content to get more people coming and connecting with me.
Yes.
And it was doing that.
It was great. Yeah. And it really was what set you free in that aspect. And that's where I want to go with this. It's like there are so many different ways that you can connect and you can build relationships with people, you know, whether it be that you are starting to get to know them through their social media posts. So you're like engaging a bit, you're having conversations, maybe you drop in the DMs, okay, and you're building that connection. You did not hear me say sell. You did not hear me say spam. I mean, get to know these people, have conversations. Okay. And then there's also ways where you're going to share them free resources. You're going to be an asset to them where they're going to join your email list. They're going to come and join free Facebook Lives. They're going to join free workshops like what we're hosting at the end of this week. And it's like, and then that allows you then to jump on discovery calls and hand over credit cards. And people need connection. Gone are the days where, or sorry, gone is the vid, you know, that period of our life that we all like to say no, it didn't happen. Right. Yeah, sure. People were just slapping their credit cards like it was crazy because we had nothing going on in our lives. Like there was so much.
Well, we had nothing going on. I don't know about in Australia, but in the United States, they were just giving out money, so people had extra money to like.
Exactly.
Just
yep.
swipe,
I mean,
you know?
in Australia, we got locked down. We couldn't even travel, right? So everyone had like a ridiculous amount of money, and they were just handing over their credit card, spending like crazy, you know, and didn't care. Yeah, you're right. There was no connection piece at that point. But have you all realized that businesses, long-term businesses aren't built that way? Long-term businesses are businesses where the connection runs deeper than the professional relationship. Because business is personal. Last week, I had the most amazing moment at our automotive shop where I had a lady in her 80s come in to share with me that she is in remission.
Aww.
And we've been looking after her car for years. Like, then she come in 2 days later and dropped in some cooking. Why do I share that? It's not just about fixing her car. I'm sure, like you would all agree, she goes to grocery shops, she goes to chemists or drugstores, whatever you guys call them. She goes to buy dinner out. Like there are multiple businesses that she would absolutely go buy from. So what makes us any different? The business that she sees once every 6 months or once every year is the connection.
Connection piece.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I was crying. Russ was crying. We had a new business, like a new customer walk through the door. She started crying because she's like, I thought I was just coming here to book my car in for a service. And then I realized how amazing you guys are. Right. That is what I want to, like, I want more businesses leading with their heart, having those deeper connections. Because you just
I love
never
it.
know where it's going to go.
No, not at all. I love it.
It's the most underrated business growth strategy there is on this planet. But the problem is we're all in a hurry. Oh, I really want to build this business so I can quit my 9 to 5. I really want to build this business because I want to retire my husband. I really want to build this business. And then all of a sudden we come across as desperate, not as a solution provider, a desire fulfiller, but as somebody that's only in it for themselves.
Ooh, I didn't even know we were getting this deep, but I'm here for it. This is good stuff. This is really good because my brain goes, you know, and a lot of you that are connected with me and you're in my world, I'm very about systems and automating and all that. There are ways to do what Carly's talking about and still have it be systematized and supportive and I almost want to say automated
Yes.
to still give people that level of what I call like a VIP treatment. You know?
Well, let me go, like turn this just quickly before we go to the next step. But like where this goes wrong in your world, is we utilize resources like ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT, FYI, but people don't work their ChatGPT enough to get chat talking in their language, or they just copy and paste what it spat out and put that out there for the world to see, but it's not them. It's not really who they are. Like the biggest thing that you want to keep in mind when you're doing your automations, when you, whether it be email, text, whether it be delivering a freebie while you're asleep, whether it be sending them an invite to the workshop, right? You know, I don't even know if Carrie's got any like keywords set up, but just say Carrie did and she had the word workshop set up, because we're not that organized today. Well, maybe she is. I'm not. That's why I work with her. But where I was going with that is, and then you got an invite that comes straight to your inbox, right? And it was just like, here's the link, register, come and join the group. right? It takes that piece out of it. However, if we were on here and we acted one way, and then the automations came in a different language, in a different energy, in a different vibe, you're going to be like, what the hell is this? Like, that's not how Carly talks. That's not how Carrie talks. And then all of a sudden, you have broken the trust. People will move away, and you've got to start back at ground zero. So that's where you really want to. Now, a lot of people will come into your automations first before they get to know you. So they may find you through Reels. You'll have an automation set up. The freebie goes out to them. Now, if there's a disconnect between your Reel, the freebie, and you in how you are when they meet you, they're never going to pay you.
Facts.
So let's avoid that. How many of you
at all costs?
Yeah, how many of you are ready? Like, you are ready to master the art of connecting with people, of building relationships, but not in a way that sees you work 24/7. Drop me below. Yeah.
I was going to say maybe. So yeah,
because there's the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be, hands down.
100%. And listen, I'm on here and I'm thinking, I wish we could go live every day, because I could listen to Carly and pour into you guys every freaking day. Yes. I also know that this girl has a call in 5 minutes, and I want to make sure that you guys get the information about this workshop that we are collabing on. Yes. So roll it out, Miss Carly.
All right. So I've sort of touched on it already for you. Okay. You are here, right now. You're hanging out with us. You've given up 25 minutes of your time because you've got a business that you want to build. You've got a business that you want to scale to that next level. So what we want to share with you is basically we want to be able to help you find your rhythm that is aligned with your business, your life, the goals that you've got set, and then creating that strategy behind it that involves the automation piece and the connection piece. Okay, so that is what we're hosting for you on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Friday for us Aussies at 10 a.m. Okay, now it's going to be hosted inside your community, Carrie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like we might host it on, we can do Zoom probably.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. Right? So yeah, absolutely. So we're going to host it on Zoom. Okay, I want you to drop the word workshop below. Okay, so drop the word workshop. We're going to get you all the deets. Okay, this is going to be one that you are not going to want to miss. There is a reason why, okay, your goal is sitting there and hasn't quite been hit yet. Okay, and there are multiple reasons why. We all know that. Maybe life got in the road, maybe business got in the road. Maybe there's an alignment issue, okay, where you're not fully aligned with what you're doing, or potentially you're just missing out on this strategy piece, where automation meets connection, where connection then can convert into sales. And either way, even if you are like, you know what, my business is good, it's growing, I still challenge you to come and join us. Because there'll be one thing. If you walk away from this free workshop with one thing, I know that you're going to be able to take your business to the next level. And maybe you'll be able to help somebody else as well.
I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Beautiful.
All right, you guys. Well, I'm excited. I am looking at my screen over here. StreamYard, I have not done in a hot minute. So I'm hoping that we streamed correctly. It kind of sort of looks like we did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
It looks beautiful. There's people on. I love you all. Thank you so much. Now, I will go with this goes without saying quickly before we end this out. Don't be strangers. If you're friends with me and not friends with Carrie, connect with her. And if you're friends with Carrie and not friends with me, but you want a little bit more of each of us in your world, then let's connect. Because that's what building a life and a business is all about. It's creating win-wins for everybody and building relationships where you do not ever know where this is going to go. Okay. It's not about the sale. It's about building the connection.
And on that note, I'm kicking Carly off because I know she has a very important call that she's about to get on. So we're creating
amazingness.
All right. For sure. All right. Thanks, babe. All right. Bye.